So here's my second entry into my digital journal. This day is about Tuesday, and I titled it Tuesday Torture because for us product-oriented people, it really was almost like torture because I was totally confused about what we had to actually produce for Friday, and since we had such little design studio time, I was completely unproductive. But throughout this day was just really overwhelming. We ended up learning about the last two parts of the leadership challenge, encourage the heart and enable others to act. And I understood those in theory, but I really had no way to apply them to a school setting. So I was thinking in my head, wow, this is great, but how do I make this work? What kind of actions can I actually produce? Um, So the only reason I actually ended up understanding this whole leadership model was Yanti's presentation and his case study about what he's done in Narragansett. And he made his presentation to show how each of his actions mapped on to each individual part of the leadership challenge. And that was kind of like an aha moment for me, especially because what he was doing in Narragansett was so similar to the idea I had in my head of what I wanted to produce in my possible district. So I was taking all these notes, and it was really helping me to pull ideas on how I could accomplish the leadership challenge in this setting. So that was really how I ended up coming up with a lot of my ideas for the tangible aspects of my project. So in the such little group time that we had, we kind of talked about what would make a good PD, because I wanted to do PD and some other people in my group wanted to do PD, and since we hadn't been to too many, we wanted to understand what a good PD would look like and how we could accomplish those things also. So as I was thinking about Yanti's presentation, how it mapped onto the leadership model, I was really starting to take some of his ideas and write them down and take notes on each individual little puzzle piece that I could include into this final project. So I ended up having a Word document that just had ideas like Twitter or PD or flipped PD, and just kind of individual little puzzle pieces that I was thinking I could bring together in the next day. Because we weren't all that productive, that was all we were managed to do that day, and that led to that feeling of being overwhelmed, thinking, how am I going to bring this all together? We only have 3 more days. So with those few ideas, when I went home, I started to think about how I could put those things into the leadership challenge. So okay, the Twitter could help encourage the heart, so I would write that down, and then I would start to think about who would be the stakeholders. And as he wanted us to look into the leadership book, those first few pages of really hashing out the little bits of our plan, it was all kind of jumbled up in a way, and my Word document looking back doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So that led to the feeling of just confusion and overwhelming, as there was no product being happening from all of this mashed up thinking, which was how we ended up going into it on Wednesday.